Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for another match of the United Rugby Championship as well as the 1872 Cup. It's a Scottish derby, Glasgow Warriors versus Edinburgh. Now this should be actually a very close game on paper. Now whether or not that actually plays out, we are about to find out. But they are two very good sides taken to the field. Currently on the URC table, it is heavily in favour of Glasgow. They are sitting on second in the table overall compared to Edinburgh, who are a lot further down at around that 6th or 7th. I believe they currently find themselves sitting. In fact, we will go here. For some reason, it has not come through. I did have a table that I was going to show you, but I can show current form for these two sides. So starting off with the Glasgow Warriors, they did get themselves the win over the Benetton side in the URC. Alongside that, beating Ulster. They were defeated by Munster, which was one of the rare losses that they have had throughout their season, and then two games in the Champions Cup, one successful, one not so much, and yeah, they'll be happy enough with their form, I think is the best way of describing it for Glasgow, but they know that they need a win here to continue that momentum and possibly finish them in first place by the end of this round. For Edinburgh, they were able to beat the Bulls. They were beaten by Benetton, a game that they will want to forget. They were able to get themselves once again one win, one loss when it comes to the Challenge Cup rather than the Champions Cup. A moment, we all go like this, and we all go like this. The coverage has just kicked in, and it is very loud. There we go. We are all sorted, but they also were able to get themselves the win over Ulster. So a good side on paper, a good side on the field, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see who actually walks away with the victory here. Hi, Yanlu, says Marnus, and also we have got there, Robert has talked about the beer. By the way, Robert, on the Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel, I know exactly what you're talking about. George is the one who does the comments on there, mainly because he edits most of the videos over on that channel. So, yeah, he was having quite a bit of fun having a chat with you about the beers and whatnot from that video. And Rufus said, evening, Hamish, from a windy, cool Cape Town, and the underdogs can surprise tonight, says Roof. Well, that's the thing. Glasgow coming as favourites. They don't have some of those key players that they would have loved to have in the starting lineup. Edinburgh, though, they're back three. Duan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham, Wes Goosen. It's a pretty good combo. We will look through at both sides. Right now for Glasgow, Jamie Butty in the front row alongside George Turner and Xander Fagerson. Scott Cummings and Rory Gray, or Richie Gray, sorry, will be the locking duo. Then Miller, Darge, and the big man, Sione Vailanu at number 8. George Horn and Rob Thompson, or Ross Thompson, sorry, going to be the 9-10 combo. McDowell in the midfield alongside Sione Tuipulotu, so no Kyle Stain in the starting lineup or reserves for Glasgow, but they do have a Kyle. It is Kyle Rowe. He is out on the left wing. Hugh Jones out on the right, and then Josh Mackay there. And number 15 in the Edinburgh starting lineup. Pierre Scorman, Ashman, and WP Nell as the front row. Young and Gilchrist, the locking duo. Richie at number 6, Hamish Watson 7, and Viliami Mata at number 8. So we have got Sione Vailanu versus Viliami Mata in the battle with the number 8s. That will be a very hard-hitting affair for those two men. Ali Price and Ben Healy will be the 19 combo. Now, of course, Ali Price there on loan. So it's a really interesting scenario here. Him going head-to-head with, well, his home side. But they loan him out. They want to give these other guys a bit more of an opportunity. And now we will get to see how Ali Price does. And Edinburgh colours, Lang and Curry in the midfield. Duan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham, and Wes Goosen. Like I mentioned, the back three that will be very explosive when they get the ball in hand. And yeah, I think both of these sides have plenty to offer. And it could be a pretty high-scoring game between them. And this match, and I, Hamish, good morning, good matchup of the rugby to start your day. Glasgow and Edinburgh are two talented sides. It'll be interesting to see what team will turn up as winners today, says Marnus. And also fantastic, tough Scottish doing battle. It's very cold in Scotland. I think at the moment, the temperature in Scotland's probably only sitting in the single figures in terms of the degrees Celsius. I think it's a chilly enough winter morning. That man's got a fake beard on, and it looks like it's more of a face warmer than anything, so probably describes how cold it is there. I don't think there's any rain around, though, which is very beneficial. We have got there, my friend Jack says hi. Says, Ollie's welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Currently only about 30 seconds away from the kickoff of this contest. The referees just running their way onto the field. Glasgow in the black kit and Edinburgh in the away strip wearing the white. Sam Grovewhite will be the man in charge of the refereeing. I think there's going to be a lot of tries, says Ruth. Yeah, I think these two sides have a very good ability of scoring up against their fellow nation sides, if that makes sense. Like, this could easily be like 35-40 or something like that. But then there's also the chance that we see kind of a low-scoring test match feel of like 12 points to 11 or something like that. Did you watch the ODI series between South Africa and India? I actually didn't, believe it or not. I don't actually know any of the results. I know that the first one I think got rained off, did it? Or was that the T20? That might have been the T20. But I am going to be watching the test matches that take place between them. And yeah, we are going to be hopefully covering a bit of it on the channel as well. We're expecting storms this weekend, but it's about 7 or 8 degrees. T-shirt weather for us, says Water Fan or Water Sports Fan. And great, thanks. How are you, buddy? Says Ollie. I'm doing all right. Early morning start for us here, of course, for the 8:30 a.m., which isn't that early, but it definitely is compared to some of the hours that we've been keeping over the past little while. But we have got the Stormers versus Bulls game that will be taking place tomorrow as well, I should mention. To be sure, keep an eye on there. India 1-2-1 in the ODI series, says Yarnlu, because I believe they've never won a test series in South Africa, have they? So that'll be something that they're looking to do. In fact, no, I knew one part of one of them. I knew that South Africa got bowled out for about 120 in one match, didn't they? I think when they were batting first. That's about all I know about the ODI series. I'm shivering, says Ruth there. But it is going to be Edinburgh kicking this one off from left to right. Unfortunately, they did not have a ball, so had to go find that before they could do the countdown. Now, Ben Healy to kick us off for this contest. Ali Price wearing that Edinburgh kit. The Glasgow Warriors, in fact, there is rain. I have now just seen it. Hopefully it doesn't affect the game too much, but it's kicked off high. Glasgow looking to claim it, and they have been able to do so in the form of Scott Cummings. We have got there, thanks Hamish. You're always hot. Great commentary as well, or as usual, rocking the rugby, says Ruth. And there's, and I'll be honest, like, these are two sides that I don't think we've covered a game that has taken place between them, but also I don't think we've covered an Edinburgh game this year. So it's kind of exciting. To be fair, we've only just squeezed it in before the new year, because about 7 days or 8 days away, you're right. It was our first audio match in Johannesburg, says Marnus. Just a little knock on early from Ben Healy on the halfway line means that it will be a scrum in favour of the home side, the Glasgow Warriors, and thanks more to Sports Fan. Hot chocolate with extra Scottish whiskey, says Ruth there as well. 1 minute in. I don't think they'll be taking a drinks break after the 20 minutes like we've seen in the games in South Africa. All you got to do here is just stick your head up, open your mouth, get a nice big gulp of the rain. Although rainwater's not actually that good for you, is it? It's got some chemicals or something. Do you drink beer? Says, man, it's not much of a beer drinker, no. I'm already hectic enough as it is without alcohol in there. Now, Ali Price. No, sorry, it's not Ali Price because he's on Edinburgh's side. It's George Horn. You get so used to saying his name for the Glasgow Warriors, and now we've got to switch it up a little bit. Going off to the left-hand side, Horn goes to Vailanu, who's just a tank of an individual, but he's dragged down by Ali Price. Would have spent a lot of time on the training fields trying to handle the power of that man, and boom, the Indians beat the Proteas. Says Roof, it's going to be kicked up high, beautifully taken it back by Wes Horson, who takes out the referee. He's stuck underneath the breakdown, and it is going to be the scrum in favour of Edinburgh. That's probably the biggest shot we've seen on a referee in a little while. Just didn't really go the right way. Wes Horson flying through. Great tackle made by George Turner, but yeah, he has been nailed in that tackle. Just making sure his communications are all good. Is that for you a surprise? Says Marnus. I assume you're talking about the India beating Proteas. I don't think so. I think it was relatively expected. And Ryan said, I've been a long time. Hello, mate. Hope you are doing well. Have you been fishing since the last time I've been on a stream? I am curious because, yeah, it's probably been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? So have you caught anything? Don't even think I've been out myself. 3 minutes gone in this contest. First scrum of the day. Hopefully the last. Well, forwards won't want it to be the last, but a lot of people want this game to be very free-flowing. Already seen a great run from Wes Wilson. No, but going next week says Ryan. So hopefully it all goes smoothly. What are you trying to catch in next week's ventures? Fed in by Price for Edinburgh, gone down in the front row, but it's actually Glasgow who do get themselves the penalty. I believe that's going to be against WP now on this near side of the field. Head with Pierce Coleman in this contest. In fact, sorry, head with Jamie Batty. Oh, yep. Tell you what, it was a bit unfortunate there, WP now, because it looked more like Jamie Batty was a little bit too low in that scrum and ended up collapsing due to it. I'm going to try for catfish, says Ryan. Okay. They're quite feisty things, aren't they? Are they the ones that if you put your finger down their hole, they'll bite you? That sounds a bit dodgy, but I think most things would if you put your finger down their hole. We have got there, will you do the live stream for Stormers Bulls tomorrow? We certainly are going to be. So yeah, be sure to check that out because that will actually be, I believe, our last live stream before Christmas as well. But now, nice rolling maul here for Glasgow. Only sitting 15 minutes out, Butty joining that breakdown to protect Turner. And now almost a turnover for Edinburgh, but the referee says play on. Some big forwards for Glasgow now. Horn on across to the side. Tuipulotu taking his first touch of this contest. Jamie Butty, big shot on him coming in by, I think it was Glenn Young. And Braveheart William Wallace, where's Jethro Tull? Aqua Lung, that is going to be the penalty though to Edinburgh. Oh no, Glasgow Warriors get the penalty off his feet. Jamie Ritchie. Great music, says Ruth. And as well, they are going to be calling for the shot though. 3 points on offer for Glasgow, so they will take every early point that they can physically get. Okay, Anlu has put something. He's decided that he wants to keep it a secret though, because I do not know what that says. Now 5 minutes gone. And this derby, Hamish, do you think Edinburgh stand a chance here? I think that they're a more than capable side if they get it right here. Because, like, the 3 points early on for Glasgow, that won't determine the game, I don't think. But, you know, I think Edinburgh, their attack, and definitely that back three, like I mentioned. Like, you look at their back three, and then you also look at their loose forwards and their 9-10 combination. Hamish, it is Afrikaans language. Yeah, I know it is Afrikaans. It's just I don't know what you said. We have got their Bulls and Stormers. Should be a good match tomorrow. Got tickets, says David. And also we have got their North vs South matchup in South African franchise rugby. It always a great game. Do you think also? Yeah. Yeah, normally when two South African sides play off in the URC, it is very entertaining, and it's not the only time we get to see it. I think we're going to see it for a New Year's match as well between two South African sides. Now this one kicked off by Edinburgh, nice and high. It's going to be slapped back by Edinburgh, so they have retained their own kickoff now, 22 metres out from the line. Good attack and run from Ashman. Gets it to only 20 metres out. Ali Price now starting to shift it off to this left-hand side. It's a good driving maul as well for Edinburgh. Again, Hamish Watson with the ball in hand. Not the biggest player on the field, but certainly packs a punch when he starts charging. Vailanu trying to rush up and shut this one down. In fact, it was Tuipulotu. Now Price back to the right again to Watson. Getting his second carry in a matter of moments. And that was almost a knock on from Ali Price, but it does go backwards to Duan van der Merwe, who's now getting smashed in the tackle by the Glasgow Warriors. They do not want to give that man space. Are you going to live stream on your fireplace on Christmas Eve? I don't think so. Mainly because, like, here we're more than likely looking at about 25 degrees Celsius. So to put the fire on as well, like, should be pretty warm, I would think. And I mean, our fireplace isn't that fancy. It's just like an old school one. Like, it's not even open. So I don't think it's quite the same as the American fireplaces that you see on the telly. Nice short pass again from Matthew Curry. I see Graham joining that breakdown to become a halfback. Now Hamish Watson looking for the offload. Referee almost in the way again. Look at their Stormers haven't been looking too great at the moment. Tired bodies, says Ruth. And also, do you think, or do you get snow because in South Africa we don't really, like, we've had, I would say, snow 3 times in my lifetime, or maybe 4, but like 3 times that it's kind of set, which still is a lot more than some places, but yeah, we don't get it that often. Like, it has to be real cold, but we get a bit of frost and whatnot. Now, nice run from Darcy Graham around the side of the breakdown. This has been a lot of phases back to back to back here for Edinburgh. That was almost a tip tackle from Richie, so does have to be careful there. Now back across to the left-hand side to Pierre Scorman, who has recently, of course, had that big haircut. Now to the left, Ali Price. This is well and truly a patient attack here from Edinburgh, and then they just tried to rush it a little bit. Unfortunately, deciding that they wanted to go for the kick and behind rather than just creating more phases, slowly wearing down this Glasgow defence. And we have got to please hit that like button, people. Please, Kiwi lads are still smashing it out the park, says Ruth in there as well. Ben Healy, it was just that little grubber attempt from James Lang, which on paper seemed like a decent idea, but then you also got to remember they've got the numbers. They had a little bit of the momentum that all they needed was just a couple draw and pass, and they could have been in a very good position. I got a pot belly, stove, not fancy, says it was Robert. We have also got a donation from Tony. Merry Xmas, mate. Stay classy. Thank you very much, Tony. Merry Christmas to you too. We have got one more stream before Christmas, but then after that, I think we've got one on the 27th. So we might see you guys before the New Year as well, but actually going away for New Year, bit of a weird one. Like, not the trip being weird, just us not editing all day will be a weird change, especially in Kimberley. Don't think there was snow ever in South Africa, but South Africa heat is no joke. It is hot. Says Marnus, and also we've got the Christmas emojis, Hamish. You're going to look fabulous in your Santa suit with that beard, says Ruth. And it's not Christmas yet, mate, says Marnus. Oh no, we're getting close though, only a couple days away for us here in New Zealand. Probably 3 days at the moment for you guys in South Africa, with it being the evening of the 22nd. I just realised, for that Santa suit scenario, is that expected tomorrow's, on tomorrow's live stream? The Santa beard and hat and whatnot? Or is it a future live stream after Christmas? Maybe. We'll see. Apparently, it looks like there is a bit of an injury, and yes, says Robert. And hey there, Tony says it was there from Ruth. Yeah, might just be a nose problem here for Xander Fagerson. Going to try and fix his nose later, but for now he's going to stay on the field. And it is that nose is kind of crunched down in the middle. That's not how your nose is supposed to look. We have got there Ruth, our season's blessing, an early Xmas gift for Hamish, says Ruth. It is indeed. A nice run forward from Edinburgh, but great bit of work in the breakdown from Rory Darch. Doesn't end up winning that penalty though. In fact, Glasgow looking to get that steal in pretty much every breakdown possible. Cross kick this time goes over the top of Mduan van der Merwe. I mean, I like the intent of trying to go for a few of these kicks in behind and trying to mix it up a little bit here for Edinburgh. But I think that they're most dangerous when they're just running that ball. Because at the moment, that is 2 times that they've tried it and 2 times they've given that ball straight back to Glasgow. And you can't really afford to do that because they are such a clinical side when they get their attack going. Rudolph knows, says Peter Wild. And thanks, Tony. May your festive season be awesome, says Ruth there as well. And OMG, you see the TC wars lately. The Griftmas is on big time. The Griftmas TC. I should know what that stands for, but my brain's completely blank, Tony. It's almost, no, you're TM. Never mind. Nicely taken by Duan van der Merwe. Only 40 metres out from his own line, tackled by both props. I'm not watching the game currently, but I think there's a lot of kicking going on and trying to win some metres with the kick of the ball. Says Marnus. Yeah, I should mention I'm actually watching this game on URC TV. Now, at the start of the season, I signed up for the whole season pass because any game that was happening that wasn't involving the South African sides we can't actually see in New Zealand. So I had to sign up for like a full year subscription on this one so that I could see exactly what was happening. I was still reading my chat with Ruben. It's just instinct, isn't it, at this point? Who's your favourite singer? That's a great question. I'll be honest, I don't actually know. Like, I have so many different artists that I have on while editing or something like that. I'll just have a massive Spotify playlist with a whole heap of different songs. Where's Goosen? Nice run on the halfway line, taken down well by Vailanu. Now going back across to the left-hand side, Ben Healy in behind. Nice attack and run from James Lang. Looked like there was a knock-on, though, from Edinburgh in the ground. I mentioned about it earlier on. This is either going to be an extremely high-scoring game between these two sides, or it's going to be more of a test match, low-scoring, take your 3 points when you can, because they might not come up too often. And I feel like that is now the scenario we find ourselves in. Both of these sides matching each other very well early. I think Eminem says Ryan. And also Ed Sheeran says Marnus there. Xander Fagerson, they're still trying to fix his nose or at least stop the bleeding partially. We have got there TVNZ Plus have 4 URC games involving the South African team, says Simon Hughes, exactly right. So yeah, anytime that it is a South African game I watch on TVNZ Plus, any game it is that doesn't involve a South African side, I have to watch through URC TV. So whether that's Leinster versus Munster, which is normally one that on the Spark Sport last time, before they lost their licensing, they actually would show those games. But yeah, not the case with TVNZ. We have there Hamish. I may need to ask his mum about him for Solomon King. Maybe. I don't think the name comes to mind. Can you name like the most well-known song? Maybe I'll know it. It's the Bulls game tomorrow. It is. So it is a 7 p.m, I believe, kickoff in South Africa. So relatively early compared to some of these games that we have seen. But yeah, nice evening game just before Christmas. Should be nice. Another scrum reset here at the moment. Like I mentioned, Kyle Stain out for injury. What's your favourite Xmas song, Hamish? Oh, that's another good one. I mean, there's a few kind of catchy ones. There was one that was in a Kiwi Lads Entertainment video. And I think it was in the video that was titled something about teachers losing their cool. I think it was in that one. But like they were playing it as an orchestra and that sounded real cool. Me and George were having a bit of a dance to it while we were on the stream or on the video. Ulster vs. Connacht game is live TVNZ Plus. Says Simon Hughes. Oh, okay, so they secure one license, just not this one. I guess that's going to be another knock-on against Edinburgh. We have got there, boom, let's go Edinburgh, says Ruth. You toured New Zealand way back when you were probably still on the nipple, says Peter Wild. And we have got there Tony, Idaho 4, it's horrific. And also Xmas movie. I mean, Home Alone movies about this time of the year seem to be the go-tos, I'd say. And when is part 2 for your cricket match? It's going to be out in the next few days. It was supposed to come out a bit earlier, but there were a couple technical difficulties that meant that it got a little bit more delayed. But hopefully you did enjoy that match. It's one of those ones that throughout the next couple months, I would like to still have those ones coming up on the channel, even if it's something that a lot of you guys don't enjoy watching. Like if there's a couple who do like it, then I'm still going to be doing it. What did you ask for Christmas? I know Santa Claus don't exist. I think your mum will give it to you. I'll be honest, I don't actually know what I am getting for Christmas or what I want for Christmas. I feel like I'm pretty happy at the moment. Some sleep would be lovely, but that would be a miracle. Chris Rea are driving back for Christmas, and yep, Home Alone and Ratatouille as the double bill. Ratatouille, is that a Christmas movie? Or is that just a go-to movie? I do quite enjoy Ratatouille, to be fair. Currently 15 minutes into this contest. At the moment, still only the 3 points on the scoreboard. That reminds me, Ulster versus Connacht, of course, it was mentioned just before. Go-to movie, says Peter Wild, and also 50k subs, says Ryan, we're a fair way away from that. I think we'll have to wait for that next World Cup before we get to that kind of territory. But one moment, we'll go like this. Go like this. I'm assuming Connacht versus Ulster. It's probably a relatively high-scoring game. At the moment, I Hamish from in England for Christmas with kids, grandkids. Thanks for the commentary. A bit jet-lagged, so ready for bed, says Joss. Well, hopefully you do have a good Christmas if we don't see you beforehand. But if we do, I guess we'll see you at some stage tomorrow. Be sure you get plenty of rest, though. Definitely want to be wide awake for the big day. 7-7 in the game between Ulster and Connacht, for anyone wondering about that game. So relatively even as well, just one try apiece. That is going to be another penalty at scrum time in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. And definitely Home Alone, I'm still laughing. I love Ghostbusters too, says Ruth. And also Bad Boy Bubby is a great Christmas movie. And yeah, Tony, some people don't have intelligent thoughts, says Ruth. That guy has a Mr. Steve. Okay, I feel like this is stuff that I wasn't supposed to read out, isn't it, Tony? 15 minutes in, and it is kicked into touch again. Still 3-0. Now, it might be a bit too early to say we're in the scenario of the lowest scoring game this year in the URC, but it also has potential. We have to wait. Find out. Definitely with the rain as well, but both of these sides have enough attacking prowess. At least you got your 8 or 9 hours of sleep before this game. About 5 or 6, I think, maybe I managed. Unfortunately, went to bed a little bit later than I anticipated, which then meant that, yeah, missed some sleep, but that's all right. Ruth Carter is a grift for Christmas. Yeah, a little bit of a slip by the looks of it. They aren't too happy about it there. It looks like Vailanu, he's got, I think is that blood on his leg? No, it's not. Yeah, Vailanu. Very dangerous ball runner. So they've said that Hamish Watson has gone in no arms tackle. Vailanu is walking over to him and saying, look, my player's still down, so whether you meant it or not, he is injured. We got another stoppage, ladies and gentlemen. They're playing the darts song at the moment. I know that one. I'm sure the crowd know it as well. Who's a Scottish darts player? There we go. That's a trivia question. The most well-known Scottish darts player at the moment. Where's that fella with the snake on the side of his head from? I don't think he's Scottish, is he? I think that's Peter Wright. Is his name Peter Wright? Maybe. Harry is the best scrummaging front row in all of the teams, says Ruth. I think it's a little bit hard to determine because the likes of Glasgow, they look extremely strong anytime there is a scrum. But, you know, there are other sides as well that look just as capable. Leinster when they're going well, Ewan McGorrigath. I've never heard of that man. But I probably should have if he is a well-known man in Scotland for darts. And when you commentate, when you call Screamer Time, we could call Ghostbusters. Tell you what, we're close to a try being scored. Beautiful offload there for the Glasgow Warriors, and they are only 2 inches out from the line now. George Horn around the side of the breakdown. Hugh Jones thought that he saw a bit of a gap, but it didn't quite open up for him. Round the side, 1 metre short now for Glasgow to get the first try of the contest. They're currently up by 3, but can they make it 8 or 10? The crowd now chanting Glasgow. George Horn goes across to George Turner. The Georges linking up. And there is a new penalty advantage. They can throw everything at this now in behind. Beautiful, quick, and Josh Mackay one more. And it will be the try out wide. It may not be Kyle Stain due to his injury, but it is Kyle Rowe who gets himself over the try line. I thought that I might be able to jinx it in terms of saying it could be a low-scoring contest, maybe the lowest of the year. Please read my comment again. When you commentate, when you will scream a try, we call Ghostbusters. I mean, it would be an inside joke, of course, because I think you guys, or you probably, Marnus, would be the only one who knows what's happening. I love me some good old darts. Says Ryan. Thanks, Peter Wild. Says Ruth in there as well. But because of that penalty advantage, 5 metres out from the line, they could afford to take a couple risks and the way their backline was working. Now, they did actually still have the man on the outside just in case, but they got there. Kyle Rowe scores a try for Glasgow, and now 18 minutes in. Great try being scored. Ulster actually also scoring around the same time. I should mention there are 2 games taking place in the Gallagher Premiership, and neither game has had a try as of yet, even though they kicked off 15 minutes ago. So it may just be a day for lower scoring contests. Any team with Cockett prop, I'd have to be to a great front row, says Peter Wild. Very true. Yeah, there's some great scrummages around that really lift their team's stocks in terms of what they're able to do at scrum time. I mean, you look at Oxen, their perfect example at the Rugby World Cup in terms of the impact he was able to bring for the Springboks off the bench. And that's not saying at all that Stephen Kitsoff wasn't doing well in the starting lineup, but the Ox off the bench was just insane with the amount of impact he could bring. Now 19 minutes in, and it is 8-0. The kick has missed for Glasgow. Will you at some point come to South Africa if you want to, says Marnus? I mean, it is on the bucket list of being able to do at some stage. Of course, a trip of that magnitude would, of course, require a lot of planning, a lot of budget. So it may be a little way down the line, but one day it would be quite cool. Any All Blacks front row for me, says Ruth there. And now looking for the turnover in the breakdown, playing the ball on the ground. So it is going to be another penalty. Favour of the Glasgow Warriors. WP now the man who was penalised for not rolling away, but Hamish Watson was looking for that turnover in the breakdown. Referee told him no. Watson said, yeah, but watch this, I can get the ball. Yeah, WP now in a spot, and then he actually played it on the ground anyway. I do see Lomax probably also Roof, but changed good question to way too hard question. And also, where is the play currently? They are currently sitting about 40 metres out from Glasgow's line. In fact, they may have made their way to the halfway line. Yes, they have. We have got that Hamish is still king of the commentary. Nothing comes close. And also, I back later to see if Hamish is bothering you, says Tony. Down the line now. Beautiful run from Miller. Now 35 metres from the Edinburgh line. Glasgow on attack. Gray gets taken down, and it is a good physical tackle made by Edinburgh. Now back across to the right-hand side. Again, George Turner. George Horn. At the moment, it's just about building up those phases. Do you know, if you wear a Bulls t-shirt, it increases your chance by 10% of catching a fish, says Ryan. I did not know that. Well, I think I'm going to have to get myself one because my chances at the moment of catching a fish are extremely slim. Hamish rocks this game. And also, Hamish and the New Zealand flag, cool bananas Tony, says Ruth. 21 minutes into this contest. Ben Healy will now kick this one for the touchline. Remember, not a huge amount of attack for them throughout this matchup. They had those early chances, but they did kick the ball away. And both occasions, going for a cross kick and going for that grubber in behind, neither of them leading to the success that they were after. Now they find themselves in the scenario of this might be their best chance of the half. They have to make the most of it. 25 metres out from the line. Now Ewan Ashman to throw this ball in has done so well. Goes straight to Jamie Ritchie. The rolling maul is unsuccessful. They do have to use that ball straight away. Now good attack and run from James Lang. Loop it around. Here comes Pierce Gorman. Ali Price back to the left-hand side. Beautiful low tackle made there by the Glasgow defence again. And balls to stampede through the Stormers. And also, which countries are on your bucket list currently? I'll be honest, there's a couple on there. Like, of course, Fiji would be another one that's right up there due to all the rugby that we have covered from Fiji. Going to Australia again. I know it sounds like kind of basic, I guess, for someone from New Zealand. Of course, Australia is normally the first place that they talk about going, but I would like to go to Australia again in the future. Now, nice offload up to the left-hand side. Another offload. Hamish Watson now 22 metres out from the line. Currently looking to really attack hard here. Edinburgh, like I mentioned, one of their best chances that they may have throughout the 40 minutes Glasgow doing the business. They're too strong, says Ruth. A nice step again. WP now this time. Dragged down by George Turner. Ball pops out. Oh, flying headbutt almost there. The Glasgow Warriors, the good intent on the ground has led to the turnover, and now they have got a bit of a backline set up if they want to use it. Shifting it to this left-hand side. Going for the kick in behind. Doesn't work out. And I think that's going to be knocked on by McDowell. I believe. Okay, Stephen McDowell wasn't too happy. He was saying he got pushed first. Darcy Graham was trying to grab that ball to take it quickly. So there was a bit of a miscommunication there. I played against Gavin Hastings. Great learning curve, says Peter Wild. There's some big physical players around. And quick players as well. So, you know, you watch some of them and you think, nah, wouldn't want to go head-to-head with them. Well, in fact, I watch everyone in these games and go, nah, not keen. Have you come to South Africa at some point? You just must be careful because there is a lot of racism going on in South Africa, says Marnus. I feel like yes, South Africa at the moment has got some bad in there, but the same thing can be said about pretty much any country you go to, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like it's one of those ones that some countries seem to get a worse rap than others, but depending on where you go in the country, you may not even encounter anything like that. You may encounter the nicest people you've ever met type thing. Hamish, do you have a dog? I do not know. No. I feel like if I had one, I would get probably a bigger dog. Nah, medium-sized, I think, would be the... Sounds like I'm ordering a burger, but no, dog size. I think I'd go with a medium-sized one. One that wouldn't quite knock me over, but is big enough to hold a stick. Like a decent-sized one. Now going off to the left-hand side, Ali Price, the WP now. Out to the left-hand side again. Darcy Graham hasn't had a huge amount of time with the ball in hand today, but now nice pass out wide to Ewan Ashman. And just to get the offload away to Ali Price. They're trying to keep this ball alive here, Edinburgh. Stop it from going to the ground, because when it does, that seems to be when Glasgow really pounce on the opportunity of getting the steal. Sione Tuipulotu looking for that ball in the breakdown. Doesn't get it. Ali Price now. Ben Healy. Back across to Hamish Watson. Taken down again. Now left. A lot of players. They've gone for the kick in behind again. That is once again another mistake made by Edinburgh. They need to stop kicking this ball away, because eventually they're going to kick it to Glasgow, and Glasgow are going to run the full length of the field and score. Now Glasgow kicking this one for the touchline. Doesn't find it. Wes Goosen does well to take that ball inside of the field. Play runs straight into his own player. There seems to be a big miscommunication at the moment between the Edinburgh side. Are we ever get there? Do you remember Sophie? If you do you think she had a crush on you? I don't think so. I think we later found out that Sophie was not actually a real person. It was actually someone else who was normally on the live streams that was controlling her, if that makes sense. He played for Auckland University in New Zealand, says Peter Wild. Wes Goosen just running straight at Viliami Mata. Now, normally that is not recommended because of the size of Mata, and the fact that he was on his team makes it even worse. Jamie Bhatti, his nose is currently plugged up, trying to stop any sort of bleeding, which they will try and, of course, fix at half-time, but it might be a relatively tough job to do. And okay, thanks, brilliant info. That's where he got his brilliance from, says Ruth. Currently still a bit of rain around in Glasgow. Or at least I thought there was. Maybe it's just foggy conditions that are making it look like it is raining a little bit. If it was raining, perhaps that is why we are seeing more of a kicking-orientated game coming from Edinburgh, plus to just try and create some gaps in this Glasgow Warriors defence. Perhaps it's a long-term plan rather than a short stint where they want it to work, trying to build into it perhaps. And now nice run forward from Tuipulotu. Tackle made by Ali Price. Now Horn gets it in behind to now Ross Thompson, who goes for a kick of his own, and that one will curve into touch. And Marnus, everyone has a crush on Hamish. Look at his smile, says Ruth. And there as well. I don't know about that, Ruth. I think we've got about a 95% male audience, and a lot of them would say that they don't like me much. It's raining cats and dogs right now. There's Ryan, and what's the score in the Newcastle Falcons versus Bristol Bears? At the moment, it is 7-0 to Bristol in that contest. And then the other one, which is happening, is Sale Sharks Saracens, and Sale Sharks are winning 7 points to 3. I think it was actually a boy, but then changed his YouTube name to a girl name, and tried to get you to like him. Don't worry, I know what you're talking about, says Martis. Yeah, so you were onto it. Yep. Now, nicely taken. Now, big run forward from Josh Mackay at number 15 in this contest. Going head to head with Wes Hawson, which is quite cool because these two guys are two who actually took part in Super Rugby, so we've seen them go head to head before for the Highlanders and the Hurricanes. Tuipulotu gets it off to Josh Mackay, showing some pace now, moves out to the halfway line, tackled by Ali Price. Back across now, big run from Xander Ferguson. His nose may be sideways, but he's running straight. Kicked him behind. And Glasgow looking for a little bit of territory here. Thompson waits for that ball to finish rolling. And he will force it for the goal line dropout. Will relieve a little bit of that pressure. Come on, Edinburgh, get some points on the board, boys, says Ruth. Very small in-goal areas as well, I should mention. And come on, Edinburgh, get some points on the board, boys. Yeah, I feel like going out of this half without any points would be a bit of a shame for Edinburgh. They've played decent at times, but I still feel like tactically they've made bad decisions, which sounds very harsh, of course, but yeah, I feel like if they just got that little bit right in terms of when to kick and when to pass, they'd be a little bit more dangerous. Sione Tuipulotu tackled by Viliami Mata. Now Horn going across again to Daj. We haven't seen too many times that he has touched that ball. Hamish Watson showing a bit of physicality. Doesn't get the ball though. He's been working hard in the breakdown. He hasn't really reaped the rewards of it as of yet. Now back to the left-hand side again. Beautiful inside ball. Big shot coming in. I'm here for the chat, not the match. Says Ryan. I think that's kind of cool in a way. The fact that some of you guys, even if you aren't interested in what's happening in the game at all, like you are still here popping and having a bit of a chatter. Of course, I assume you'll be more interested in who wins that game tomorrow, Ryan, between the Bulls and the Stormers. And see you folks, hotel restaurant closes at midnight, need food. Says Peter White, well, hopefully you do enjoy your meal. Hopefully it is very tasty indeed. And Glasgow says, Boopa, nice run from Duan van der Merwe. Glasgow again from Boopa. Now short pass there, Viliami Mata. Looks like there might be another injury here this time for Glasgow. Going for the grubber in behind from Edinburgh. Now that one almost had a chance of being successful. There was a bit more of a gap there, but it still ends up going into touch about maybe 30 metres further down the field than they would have liked it to be. Now this does look relatively serious at the moment. I want to say that that's Ali Miller, but I could be wrong. We have got the eye. Hamish says, Brandon, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. I think you have messaged me on Discord, Brandon, but I do apologise that I haven't had a chance to be able to reply as of yet. Looks like a sore shoulder, I would say, at the moment. Duan van der Merwe, of course, when you try and make a tackle on him, yep. Unfortunately, George Turner just tackled a little bit too low. I think he ended up maybe getting his shoulder twisted in a way he wouldn't have liked. How many times a week do you and your mum get takeaways at fast food restaurants like KFC, McDonald's? Maybe like once or once every 2 weeks, I'd say. It's not really that often, to be honest. Like me and George at one point, we were probably getting stuff like twice a week, but then that was because any time we were filming flat out, we were pretty much trying to get as much done as we could, and then that also involved doing the trip because the trip was involved in the content, if that makes sense. Come on, Edinburgh. says Yarnloo. And Glasgow had a decent salary coach, hence as I bought them. I heard Sean Everett is at Edinburgh, says Boopar. Who's the manager of Ulster? You will have a much better idea than me, Boopar, I would say. It's on the menu tonight. Sirloin steak, mashed potatoes. Sounds alright, doesn't it? I wouldn't mind getting some food at some point. Might have to get food today. Like, not so much like food, but like out and about food. I saw a dude wash his face in the kitchen sink. KFC, I'm no longer eating fast food, says Boopar. Although, to be fair, if his wings or whatever he was eating was greasy, I can kind of understand it. You know? Like, if he had a flannel and whatnot and he had been living there for a week, maybe not so much. But like, in terms of if you manage to eat KFC chicken and it's greasy and you don't end up with anything at all around there, then somehow you are a magician. You know, like, yes, there's napkins, but sometimes the napkins, they just don't quite do the job. You still feel like there's something there. That makes sense? KFC sometimes sucks? Yeah, it does. I've learned that the local, well, not even the local, you got to travel 30 minutes for the closest KFC that we've got. But it must be policy to always forget at least 2 chicken tenders, because I don't think we've ever been when they haven't not given us 2 chicken tenders at least. Now, 29 minutes through at the moment. What is your schedule? KFC have gone off. Says Brandon, my schedule, I have got the Stormers versus Bulls. Do you know who is Uncle Waffles, Hamish? I have no idea what Uncle Waffles is, to be honest. But George Turner going off the field now means that Johnny comes on to the field. Like Johnny Matthews. Yarnloo sounds delicious. Now rolling more here for Edinburgh. Looks like it's rolling quite nicely. M&M, I'm the fastest rapper, Hamish, says Ryan there. Been told to use it once. Back across to the right. Little pop pass up here. Lee, this is... Oh, they've gone for the kick again. No. It's not the choice. Although, good cover at the moment there. And that was actually a lot of great work by Edinburgh's defence to be able to shut down Glasgow, because they have actually made meters in that case. Hugh Jones running out of space. KFC are gone, not feeling it good anymore, says Brandon. And anything with biltong is a delish. I love biltong and cheese pizza, says Ruth. Okay. Be quite chewy, wouldn't it, Ruth? In a way. Just thinking the teeth would get well and truly battered. How many times a week do you eat meat? I absolutely love it. It's so saucy and soft. It's healthy for your body, says Martis. I'd say I probably have meat like once a day, maybe. Sorry, vegans. But yeah, something like that. Have quite a bit of chicken. Now, Ewan Ashman. This line out throw. They are 20 metres out from the line. Currently, the other game that has taken place in the URC, ladies and gents, is the match between Ulster and Connacht. And currently, Ulster are in the lead by 7 still. Going off to the left-hand side, Ali Price, 15 metres out. WP now plays halfback. Viliami Mata crashes to 10 metres out from the line. Now Price back across to the right. Healy looping around there. Beautiful bit of play from Edinburgh. Their best chance. Darcy Graham passes out wide, just a little bit too close to the touchline though, so they do have to cut back inwards. Pierre Skurman. Best chance of the half. 2 metres out. Bad's friend's name is Nye, says Levi. And also Pizza Hut is good, says Brandon. Pizza Hut is decent. If I really felt like it, pizza would be a good call today, but I don't think I will. That's going to be the penalty now for Edinburgh. 5 metres out from the line, and there was an offside. It was actually Johnny Matthews, the man who's only recently made his way onto the field and actually leading try scorer in the URC competition. Looks like they're going to take the quick tap here. Pierre Skurman, man who will be in charge of tapping and going. So there's a bit of a miscommunication. At the moment, Pierce Gilman did not know where he was going to be tapping, but now nice run forward from him, who's only 2 metres out from the line here again for Edinburgh. Ali Price goes out wide to Jamie Ritchie. Can they get just that little bit of a chance in this contest? But they would need to score now. Close that gap by half time. Ali Price again. Back across to Viliami Mata. Around the side again. With the pick and go, Ewan Ashman. Gets within a metre. And also give me a Steers Burger King. Says Ruth. Oh, Hamish Watson gets it across to Gilchrist. Let's go. Look at her turn this ball over in every breakdown. Haven't been able to get it yet, though. Now round the side, Pierce Gilman. It will be an offside advantage now in favour of Edinburgh. Glasgow's discipline has to be on point here, or else they might find themselves going to the bin near the end of the first half. Extremely close to the line. I believe he's over. Yes, he is. And it will be the try for WP now. His other friend's name is Arapeta, says Levi. And also, I'm getting hungry, says Ryan. And when will Super Rugby return? It is late February that we see the Super Rugby competition coming back. And then early February is when the Six Nations does start up. Or a Whopper with cheese, Burger King is best. What channel this on, says Brandon. So it is on URC TV. Are you related to Hamish Watson? Hamish, I am not, no. I do have the same first name as him, but not the first or not the last name, so not quite. What other Hamishes are there? There's a Hamish McDowell, I think. Hamish. Do we have any other Hamishes in the world of rugby? Surely there's some somewhere in there. Yeah, they aren't too happy. They felt WP now had to crawl forward to propel himself. Have you met Hamish Watson? I have not, no. Mainly because he is way over in Scotland. WP now, his try will stand and the kick is successful for Edinburgh. So that will make the score now 8 points to 7. Still well and truly any team's contest to win. It's going to be kicked off and it's gone out on the full from Glasgow. So a little bit of an error here that we aren't used to seeing. Ross Thompson just gets it wrong. Not happy with himself. He apologises to his teammates because now that's given Edinburgh another chance just before the end of this first half. Do you think Hamish Watson knows you? Probably not. I would say he probably never heard of me. McIntyre, Muller Kintyre, says Roof there. That's the thing. I'd say that, like, international player-wise, there is a chance that absolutely none of them have heard of us. I'd say that Mark, they've probably heard of Mark, maybe, or Squidge. They've probably heard of him too. Highlander, fantastic movie, says Ruth. Our ball's going to be fed in by Ali Price. It's gone down in the front rows again. That has been a common denominator. You are never stable, says a referee. Control the hit and take the weight. The two messages that he is relaying. Here has been here the longest, says Ryan. That's a very hard one because there are a few that have been around for a while, but then it depends if you count time that they haven't been here and then time that they've come back. Like Brandon's been here for a very long time. And he could probably name you every channel that we have, every video that we've ever posted. Maybe not quite to that extent because we've posted a lot. But, you know, he has a lot of knowledge about the Kiwi lads. Play rugby when you were younger. What position did you play? I was actually on the wing, believe it or not. I am nowhere near quick enough now to be able to play on the wing though. So, yeah, if I played now, and that's a big if, I'd probably go halfback. But, yeah, back in the day, I was out on the wing. And I'm new. Says Ryan there. Now Ben Healy looks like he's going to be lining up this kick actually from halfway after winning the penalty for Edinburgh. Currently in wet conditions, these extra points could add up. That missed conversion from Glasgow might actually come back to bite them as well, depending on how it goes in the second half. But currently 37 minutes through this contest. Now Healy to line up this kick. Directly 50 metres out in front. And he's just missed away to the left-hand side. We look at there, Hamish was a fly half. Number 10, not quite, no. I was a little bit further. Pretty much, though, with where I was on the field, I never touched the ball, mainly because our 10 and our 9 did not pass. So, yeah, I spent the whole game just watching and tackling. Now it's going to be put high. Viliami Mata chasing after it for Edinburgh. Only 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Why don't you try your luck at hooker number 2? Says Bupa. In terms of the line-out throws, I'll go all right, I think. Mainly because I did play a bit of football, so because of that, I've got that kind of action. But, yeah, I don't think I'd go well in scrums, though. And I don't think I've got enough size to go well in a scrum. So I'd probably have to put on, honestly, probably 30 kgs to be able to play hooker, or at least 20 anyway. It's going to be an awkward landing for Kyle Rowe. I think he might have been taken out. He's asking for the penalty against Darcy Graham, but for now it is going to be play on. Yes, at last, Edinburgh, come on. And Hamish, what are you doing to Christmas? We got a Christmas lunch and then some drinks for dinner, I believe, is the plan. 2 different sides of the family, nicely taken, but the penalty does go the way of Edinburgh. Okay, it's actually going to be the penalty against Xander Fagerson for blocking there. Even though Glasgow may have been a little bit guilty. Yeah, Hamish Watson's taken out Kyle Rowe there. And they'll lock you inside KFC with Malcolm Marks, says Bupa. Be alright, wouldn't it? And Hamish is playing Father Christmas. 8 on Boxing Day test. I am hoping to do some of it, although depending on when we leave for our trip, means that I probably won't be able to finish the match. I will be able to start it though. And whether or not we get day 2 is a wait and see scenario. Christmas lunch is always very nice. Says Marnus that it's actually going to be a Christmas lunch as a barbecue as well, so even better. And what is your what if when Moss parted the Red Sea, when they got to the other side, somebody in the group said, I left my house keys at home? Great question, Peter. That ball has gone into touch, I believe. So I think we've run out of time. Yep, they put that one into touch and it will be half time. I will answer that after I sneeze. We are good. Yeah, great question. I mean, Bupa's unfortunately probably answered it the best. And South Africa call it a braai. Says Marnus, they certainly do. Currently half-time in this contest. I've just seen something I have on my couch. I should probably have it on my head, to be fair, seeing as it is almost Christmas. Edinburgh getting warmed up now, says Ruth. They've been going very decently at times throughout this half. I think the thing that they've really struggled with, though, has been decision-making, whether or not to kick that ball away or whether to hang on to it. When they did attack, they did look strong with the forwards. Glasgow, they've had 1 or 2 really nice plays, but aside from that, they just haven't quite gelled in the way that they normally would. Now, I should mention, Ulster versus Connacht, the other game that was taking place, that is currently half-time, and that fixture too, 14 points to 7 in favour of Ulster, who do come in as heavy favourites for the second half. Edinburgh currently underdogs in this game. Isaac called the Red Sea, and Sean Everett is having a mixed start with Edinburgh. Says Bupa, I think that's the case with most coaches though. When you go to a new club, you do take a little bit more time to be able to find what works, find what doesn't. And yeah, you just really hope that you get it right in those big games, because at the end of the day, you need to be in that top 8. That is any coach's desire and any coach's goal. Of course, top 4, even better because you get that home quarter final. But, you want to make sure you're definitely in that top 8. I went fishing this afternoon today and caught 17 fish. That is quite a few, Marnus. You must have been fishing in a school of fish or something. What type of fish were they? Do let me know. Yeah, currently half time in this contest. And also we look at there, Boo Boo. That's a lot. Says Ryan. Or Yo. Did Yo just correct a Boo Boo, Ryan? And if so, who have you been messaging on your phone that it corrects to Boo Boo? We have got there carpfish. Says Marnus. You eat them all? Says Bupa. See, we had a bit of a run of Kawai a couple weeks ago, and it was just too easy. If that makes sense. Like, you throw your hook in the water, and you could see probably 1,000 fins of the fish. And Kawai, they're not bad eating. I think someone said that they're, considered sea salmon or something like that in Australia, I think is the name for them. I mean, that's a lot. Says Ryan, a roast beef with horseradish sauce, roasted potatoes and gravy and cauliflower cheese. Says Ruth in there as well. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to want food after this live stream now, mainly because food's good, But 2 other games in the Gallagher Premiership that are taking place. Sale Sharks have found themselves behind at halftime, sitting here 10 points to 7. See, the fact that that game started 15 minutes after this one, in fact, this has been an hour-long half of rugby. With all the stoppages and injuries and everything that we've had, it's created a very long half. Hopefully, second half runs a little bit more smoothly. I mentioned the game we are doing tomorrow is the Stormers versus the Bulls. And I hope I catch next week. Says Ryan in there as well. One moment. I am going to be popping off to the side only because I see the hat that I'm going to wear for the second half. So because of that, my headphones aren't long enough. We'll take them off. Grab that. There we go. I've got my Christmas hat for the second 40 minutes. But I won't put it on yet. We'll wait a bit longer. Looking through at some of the stats for the second half is something that we will now do. One moment. We'll move that over there like that. There we go. URC. Probably a little bit lower scoring than some anticipated. Do you think KFC gets a bit overrated? Yep. But if they wanted to sponsor us, we would do it. I know it sounds a bit bad, of course, but at the end of the day, chicken's expensive, isn't it? You want to get the chicken for as cheap as you can. Carpfish full of bones, says Roof. So currently the stats in this game, we've seen 54% possession for Edinburgh, and that is even with them kicking that ball away a little bit. 1 try scored apiece, 5 clean breaks for the Glasgow Warriors. More defenders beaten for Edinburgh, and then also territory 68% in favour of Edinburgh as well. And High says, Dry Time Down Under, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Somewhere that they do KFC quite well, though, is Australia. Mainly because they have that cheap chicken popcorn cup thing that I would definitely eat. Tackle success, 87% for the Glasgow Warriors and also 89% for Edinburgh. And then looking at the other information that we've got, pretty much penalties conceded, 5 from Edinburgh and 4 from Glasgow. And yes, KFC is a good sponsor to get. Says Marnus, and also we get the KFC overrated. Oh, come on. Says Nazi Williams. They can be good, though. That's the thing. If you get it on a good day, you're a happy individual. If you get it on a day that it's not so good, then you're kind of sad. But, it's like all things, really. You got to take the risk, don't you? Risk and reward scenario. But hope you are having a good build-up to Christmas, Nazi. We may see you tomorrow morning for that game between the Stormers and the Bulls, but if not, we do hope you have a very festive, happy new year and whatnot. Got me Christmas hat, which I am going to put on now, which might work. Yeah, it kind of does. It's a bit tight, I'll be honest. There you go. Hey, Santa's on me bloody head. There you go, eh? Santa's upside down It doesn't quite work in terms of the design, you'd have to say, but I got it for like $5, so it seemed like a good idea at the time. It's actually very tight round headphones. I feel like I'm squeezing my brain. What is that? Says Marnus. It's Santa. To you, Hamish, or you too, Hamish? You and your parents? Says Nazi Williams. Yeah, we'll keep it on for the second half. We've got to get the belt buckle a little bit more central, though. I think it's the goal. There we go. That's a little bit better. But yeah, second half, I think the big thing that we need to see is a lot more of Glasgow's attack, and also a lot more of Edinburgh's willingness to run the ball. Because when they have run, they've made meters. And we've also seen that the defence hasn't been quite what the Glasgow Warriors would normally want. Haven't heard any guitar in ages. No any Xmas tunes, to be honest. I know no Christmas tunes on the guitar, which is quite sad. I know Happy Birthday, but I mean, it's not quite the same. We'll have to work on that, won't we? Get some Christmas tunes going, although saying that, we've only got like 2 days till Christmas, so it would have to be next year that we really bring them out. Like I said, second half not too far away from starting up. I think they'll have about a 10-minute break in between the other game that was taking place between Connacht and Ulster. I think, yep, they're back into it. Just shows you how far behind this game is compared to that one. The fact that that one has started back up and this one is still not quite there. Even the game between Saracens and Sale Sharks that started 15 minutes later, is almost at the same point. That is actually nice and different to the other hats where you just get a white circle point to the top, a white circle point on the top. Yeah, it's a bit unique. You know, Santa's got his feet down there as well, so I feel like I need to have it like that so that you guys can actually see, well, that looks like Santa's packing. But yeah, it's a nice hat, I think. There is another one that I got, but it's green, so that doesn't work because it would pretty much, with the green screen, make my face invisible, which would be quite funny, but I will not do it. We'll stick with this one just for now. But the standout players from that first half, I feel like there were a lot of players that we saw a little bit of, but didn't see a huge amount of impact from, like Josh Mackay and Wes Houston. I think the 215s did look relatively decent. Ali Price was prominent throughout that first half for Edinburgh. Hamish can play Lenny Kravitz, Bon Jovi. He's a guitar man. Says a roof. And they're in WP now, actually having a decent little break near the end to score that try for Edinburgh. The one try coming for Glasgow was of Kyle Rowe. Sione Vailanu, couple runs from him. Yeah, other than that, no one really lighting the world on fire in this game, which means there's plenty of opportunity in the second 40 minutes for someone to really step up and put their name on this game. I'm going to loosen this because she's pretty tight. Yeah. We'll take the sand. Where should we put this? It doesn't look weird. We'll put it down. We'll put it over here for now. You remind me a bit of Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce. I might have to Google that. Thinking in the second half, Edinburgh must play rugby in Glasgow 22 and force Glasgow to make the errors. Says Yarnlu. And also just got a peanut butter sandwich for a snack. Says Roof. Sounds alright. Do you have anything else in the sandwich other than peanut butter, Roof? Like, did you put actual, like, butter in there as well or anything like that? Or jam or jelly, depending on what you call it. I've never tried a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like the Americans have. Is Robert still here? Because if Robert is still here, he'll be able to tell us if that's any good. Second half, I believe, is almost underway. We saw a side jogging out onto the field. So I'd assume that we're only a couple minutes, if not maybe one, away from this matchup starting back up again. So what we will do quickly is I'm about to sneeze. So we will mute for a second. We are good. And yeah, it's jum, says Ryan. But it is absolutely bucketing down for this game, which of course has not made conditions that easy. In fact, across all competitions, we haven't really seen too many high-scoring games. Like, Ulster versus Connacht has a little bit more of a chance of being higher scoring. They are just talking about the fact that for the 1872 Cup, the points differential is absolutely crucial here, because if they do get it right, whoever wins this game have a huge advantage going into that second game. Now going back across to the left-hand side here for Glasgow, currently on the halfway line. Need to build a little bit more of an attack. There we go. Now going to the short side. Not a lot of space for Johnny Matthews, and he's wrestled out. His Braveheart injured. Says Nazi Williams, I know that they had an injury of Ewan Ashman, George Turner. And compliments to the season to everyone. Cheers, Hamish. Says David the Mod. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Hope you do have a good Christmas if we don't see you beforehand. But yeah, we've still got the live stream tomorrow early morning. That is our last live stream before Christmas. For anyone who is looking for an early morning start on the 24th. But yeah, hopefully you do have a good Christmas, David, and you do enjoy the holiday season. Okay, thanks, says Marnus, and yes it is. And Santa's legs, says Roof. As well, just a little bit of a mistake again with the slippery conditions. It makes it extremely hard to be able to hang on to that ball. You too, David, have a good one. Says Nazi Williams. Looks like WP now taking his shoe off at this point. See, this is one of those scenarios that you can understand why this game is so far behind, because we've had too many stoppages throughout it, and some of them haven't been stoppages that you can avoid, but yeah, it's getting further and further behind. It's going to be about an hour and 55-minute game, if not 2-hour game, which is definitely right up there. The only thing that we need to extend the time now is to see some TMO. And same to you and your family, mate, Nazi. Hey, man, how's it? Says David the Mod. And also thanks, David and Nazi, says Ruth. Xander Ferguson, they would have been working on his nose at halftime to try and stop the bleeding. Now, scrum feed for Ali Price and Edinburgh. They are deep inside of their own territory, which they did have the advantage in the first 40 minutes, 68% in their favour. Now rolling forward. It's gone down awkwardly, but it will be out the back for Ben Healy. Now put plenty of distance onto that kick. Josh Mackay, awkward bouncing ball, but it is eventually set up for him to fire it across to Hugh Jones. Steps around 3 Edinburgh defenders, gets back to his feet and has another crack. Now Horn, back across to the right, Johnny Matthews. Kicking him behind is McDowell, so they've decided to go for a bit more of that territory game here, Glasgow. In the second 40 minutes. Wes Hurston runs it up to the halfway line. Bit of a counter ruck there, not doing for the Warriors. Now Pierre Schoolman. To halfway. And also we've got there, where's my cool dude Nate? Says Roof, I think it's a bit of an early morning start for Nate at the moment, but he might be popping in at some stage either today or maybe for tomorrow. I think we'll see him on Boxing Day though for Australia versus Pakistan. I would assume we'll see him somewhere for that one. Now it's going to be a line out. And Why, says Ryan there. 37 minutes remaining. Another injury. Oh no, it's another bootlace coming undone for Richie Gray. Might have some sort of injury there as well by the looks of it. So once again, another stoppage. More time off the clock for these two sides. Just showing Kyle Rowe there. Man who was able to score the try in the first half for Glasgow. The lone try that they have been able to get, although it wasn't successfully converted. I mean, the amount of injured players in this contest has to go down to the physicality that both of the sides are bringing, but then also just the fact that, I mean, using up a bit more time, of course, can be quite handy. These two sides, I tried to Google you. Says Marnus, nothing would probably come up, I would assume. Or maybe, like, if you Google the Kiwi Lads, our channel will probably come up, maybe. But not too much else, I don't think. Now, Johnny Matthews. Throw this one in. Nicely taken at the back there by Glasgow. Might have been a little bit of an early shove there from Edinburgh. And I was really, that's weird. Says Ryan, now back across to the right-hand side, inside of their 22, but now looking to attack outside of it, Glasgow. Ball's there for George Horn. On across now to Josh Mackay, who has been one of the standouts for Glasgow throughout that game. Now Horn looking for the box kick again. Vailanu partially trying to block it. In fact, it was Viliami Mata. Now Darcy Graham trying to run the ball back on the halfway line. Duan Fundermerva breaks through 2 tackles. Gonna keep on charging here, the big man. Kicked him behind again by Edinburgh, and it will be put into touch. And it is an Edinburgh line out of 50-22 in this case. And also, I never met you, so I'm just wondering why, says Ryan. I mean, but saying that, like, you Google things all the time, I'd assume, so it's not weird, I don't think. Yeah, beautifully done by Ali Price to pick exactly where he was on the field, although, now that I think about it, didn't Duan Fundermerva run into the Glasgow half? Either way, it's going to be a Edinburgh line out, but I thought he actually made his way over the halfway line when he was attacking. I've been told to use it once. Now Matthew Curry runs for, going short side here. Ali Price looking for his offload, gets it away to Richie Dash. And almost a turnover for Glasgow. They were asking for it, but the referee does not abide. Price to the right again for Healy. Advantage for offside. Glasgow's discipline 10 metres out for the line has not been great today. Chipped him behind from Healy. He's saying he's been taken out, but there was too much juice on the kick anyway. Precisely. Says Marnus. That would have been Mina's catch. Would have been a Mina's catch in your GoPro cricket clip, Hamish. Says Nuzzy. Yeah, unfortunately did slip out of the hands. The worst thing is, I think I got into position so early that I thought it was going to be coming quicker than it was, and it just slipped out. It wasn't my first drop catch of the year, so it would have been a nice catch to take though. Throughout the other ones, in fact, if I do the T20 that we did, you'll get to see a drop catch that I actually dislocated my finger trying to catch. Well, I thought I dislocated it. I also thought I broke it, but yeah, I don't know what way around it was. I just kind of let it heal. It's wonky now though, so it was probably something to it that wasn't supposed to happen. Now lining up this kick, Edinburgh. I thought you had it. Says Nazi. But yeah, we've got a few more GoPro cricket ones that are just around the corner from being released. Our batting innings for that contest will be out hopefully early next week. That kick has gone over for Ben Healy in Edinburgh now. For the first time in this contest, will actually be in the lead. 10 points to 8. Glasgow taking this kick off quickly, but Viliami Mata is back there to be able to cover. How many bones have you broke before, Hamish? Well, depending on if that was broken or not. Like, if it wasn't broken, then 0. I've never actually broken a bone, but I feel like that one maybe, I don't know, it could have been broken. Like, I couldn't really use it. So maybe I just damaged the tendons of it instead, perhaps. Knocked on from Josh Mackay. First mistake from him. What has been a very good night so far. Now going for the kick behind here. Edinburgh looking for the territory. Taken back into their 22. Not able to find touch on the full. So because of it, Ross Thompson gets it straight down the middle. Ben Healy, another chance for Edinburgh. There's a spider lizard and cricket in my room. I'm almost crying of fear. How have you ended up with so many insects in your room and a lizard as well? Well, I guess actually there's only one insect, isn't there, if you're getting real technical. But how's that happen, Ryan? Like, did you leave a door open or something? Now rolling it back. George Horn puts it high. It's been a bit more kicking in this game than some may have anticipated, but it has proved to be the effective tactic in some regards. Not those little chips in behind, but just playing those big boots for the territory. And geez, these are two teams who don't give an inch. Defence is good, says Riv. Yeah, they've looked very strong in defence for both of these sides. Now that ball has rolled into the in-goal area again. And the Glasgow Warriors decide to put that one down. Only 31 minutes remaining. Looks like another change is about to be made as well. I feel like this one, that was a rough kick, but it's actually found touch there. Pierre Schulman was pointing back to where he kicked it from, but it actually did go out. He's not looking too happy at all here, Ross Thompson, but I think that is because he is in the wet conditions. But yeah, Pierre Schulman trying to say it was out on the full, but it does bounce. He's taking some deep breaths now to try and calm the nerves. Crosby onto the field. That is for Hamish Watson, who has been taken off. He'll be disappointed that he hasn't been able to have more of an impact today, Hamish Watson, because he has put in a shift. Just hasn't really led to too many real chances for him. Now breaking off the back. Referee does well to get out of the way of that one. Viliami Mata crashes forward. Now off to the right-hand side. Attack and run from Pierre Schulman. Oh, knock on. No, they say it goes backwards for Viliami Mata. Now the referee says forwards. And it is going to be the scrum. The All Blacks, or the New Zealand emoji, and also coming All Black shakedown, says Ruth. And there, and geez, these are two teams who don't give an inch. Defence are good. Who's got the most South Africans? Edinburgh, says, cool story, bro. Out of these two sides, yes, I would say. Yeah, they probably have the advantage by a couple extra South African players. Pierre Schulman, WP now, of course, both Scottish internationals though, so I guess that's another factor. Dawn van der Merwe, also Scottish international. Now scrum again here. It hasn't been completely clean in terms of the way that scrums have been working throughout this game, going down in the front rows again. This time it is a free kick to Glasgow, and they will more than happily accept another scrum here. Up against Edinburgh, they're saying about the huge amount of movement that has taken place. There, Spider-Man says Ruth. Hold the weight. Comment from the referee. And that has actually been something that's been echoed throughout this whole game, is the fact that both front rows just haven't really been able to create a lot of penalty opportunities in terms of actually pushing penalties. But instead, just when they're going down in the front row, the other side receiving one. Now the ball has been fed in. George Horn has it at the back, deciding to go to the left-hand side. Now Thompson to Josh Mackay. 40 metres out from their own line here at Glasgow. Well, then go Edinburgh, I guess. And smile now, please, says Marnus. Is that me? It's kicked in behind from Glasgow. Nicely taken by Wes Hewson. Running this one back. It's broken through the tackle attempt to George Horn. Now to the left-hand side on the halfway line for Edinburgh. This second half has been a lot of kicking territory. Not a lot of running. We will have a quick look and see what the score is in the Connacht versus Ulster game, seeing as that has also taken place at the same time. And it is currently 17 points to 7 in favour of Ulster. So they did also get themselves an extra penalty in that regard. Sale Sharks versus Saracens, an extremely close game. Currently sitting 12 points to 10. And then Bristol versus the Falcons is actually relatively close. Only split by 4 points in that one. Now it is going to be kicked downfield from Glasgow. Another one of time off. You haven't smiled? Please smile. I want to see it, says Marnus. I think I've smiled a few times on this live stream. At half time when I had a hat on, that probably had quite a few little smirks coming. Yeah, another injury in this game. I think that time it is Grant Gilchrist, who's got a little bit of a problem with the eye. Not good at the moment with the amount of injuries we have seen in this contest. It's only one try apiece. And I feel like whoever scores last in this game, that will actually be who wins this game. You want to make sure you finish this match just as well as you're starting for these two teams. Now Johnny Matthews. Okay, they're going to reset the line out. Someone couldn't count. The wrong number of players there. Johnny Matthews. Throw this ball in nicely. Slap down. Out to the right-hand side. Jamie Butty gets it across to Sione Tuipulotu, someone who we haven't seen nearly enough of throughout this contest. Now back to the right. Thompson. Mackay now. He keeps saying why, Ryan? Can I say nothing? You'll still say why? Says Marnus. Now counter ruck from Edinburgh. The ball's still there though for Johnny Matthews and Glasgow. Now Horn. Puts the ball up high. Chased early by Hugh Jones. Another player we just haven't seen much of, but the penalty does go the way of Glasgow. They considered taking it quickly, but I believe they will be lining up the 3 points here instead. Could be a very good option at this point of the game. Get that 1 point lead. Doesn't quite get it in the end the way you would have liked Hugh Jones. The ball is going to be put towards the corner. Fair play. Crowd have just realised it as well, that means that they are not taking the 3. Instead, they are going for the 7 in this spot. Oh, the crowd absolutely loving this game so far. 10 metres out, Johnny Matthews. He's the leading try scorer. Can he extend that a little bit more? We are about to find out. I like that score. Edinburgh ahead. Nicely claimed by Glasgow, who have now got penalty advantage and a rolling maul. That's going to be extremely hard to stop. Johnny Matthews had his hands on the ball, but I think Ritchie has come through the middle and has been able to drag it down. And they will go back for the original penalty in favour of Glasgow. Okay, I'll stop and thank you. Says Marnus there. All right, now they have to make another decision. Do they kick for the corner here? Do they scrum or do they take the quick tap? I believe they'll be going for the corner again. Yes, they are. Putting that ball into touch 5 metres out from the line. Now that true grip coming from 0. To move in front, says Ruth. Yeah, they did struggle throughout their first half, Edinburgh, but to be honest, they've probably looked like the better side throughout this game. Although, depending on if Glasgow can score now, will give them the lead. A man has got himself a Christmas light-up hat on. That is stolen by Edinburgh now. Inside of their in-goal area, though, Ali Price having to try and work his way out. I believe it's going to be a line out 5 metres out from the line. So Edinburgh are able to defend it, but it is now straight back where they initially were. So it hasn't quite worked out the way that they would have liked it to. Yeah, Ali Price doing extremely well to get it outside of the in-goal area so that it wasn't a 5 metre scrum. So I feel like they would find themselves in more danger if that was the case rather than the line out. And Ryan Amanis, sounds like you two are married, says Ruth. Now this time, slapped away, and Edinburgh managed to get it back again. Huge for Edinburgh's confidence, and that has also stopped Glasgow from being able to get that point lead that they were after. It's going to be put into touch, this line out about now 40 metres out from the line, rather than the 5. Makes a huge difference. Like I've said, Edinburgh getting 2 men up to try and contest, and it was Jamie Ritchie who was the man who got his hand on it, and not to each other. Says Ruth. And there as well. Now Ollie Kebble onto the field. Macbeth, he has come onto the field. That is for Jamie Butty, the South African international in Macbeth. Now, Edinburgh. They will have to defend again because Glasgow have got themselves another attacking chance. Vailanu moves to only 30 metres out from the line. Cummings now. Good attacking run. Ollie Kebble. Should also mention that now Jordan has made his way onto the field at number 23. Number 23 for the other side actually being Emiliano Boffelli. Another run from Kebble. It's only been on the field for a very short amount of time. Peterson. Sione Tuipalotu. Good run from Tom Jordan. To straight away bring that physicality, the Kiwi. Now Peterson. Taken backwards again. Glasgow just haven't quite been able to find that last pass that they've needed. Nice run from Rory Dash. Breaks through the defensive line but loses his footing. 20 out from the line. They've had a lot of phases put together here, Glasgow. Vailanu, the man who started the whole thing, now looking to finish it. Sione Tuipalotu. Nice step. But is tackled again by Edinburgh. These are two sides that defensively make very little errors. And because of it, it does mean at times you see a very low-scoring game. But it is still close. And it could be one missed tackle that actually determines who wins this game. Now Tom Jordan thought about the pass on the outside. Does almost lead with the forearm there. No scrum, no fun. Says, cool story, bro, there. Now Vailanu. Shut down early by Edinburgh. Now back to the right. Another passing chance. It has gone backwards. In fact, it's going to be the knock-on against Edinburgh. Then a knock-on from Glasgow. And it is another scrum. So I guess the fun is just starting. Cool story, bro. Yeah, it's just been one of those games that with the rain as well, I think both sides are taking that little bit longer to get those passes away. Which is not ideal, of course. You want to be trying to get that ball out the back as quickly as possible. Definitely when you look at the 4 that are on the outside in this game. Kyle Rowe, Hugh Jones, Duan Whanamura and Darcy Graham. All men with try-scoring capabilities. But unfortunately all missing out on being able to score one here. Other than Kyle Rowe, who got himself the try early on. Ulster 17, Connacht are on 12. Oh yeah, so that game's getting relatively close as well for another one of the derbies that are taking place. Sale Sharks versus Saracens is actually Sale Sharks with a very handy 9-point lead. And then Bristol leading by the 1. So, to be fair, 4 very close games taking place at the moment. And then if you really want to get technical, the game that is taking place between Bordeaux and Lyon is currently sitting 18 points to 10 in favour of Bordeaux. No rain, no gain. It's a cool story, bro. And there is a lot of rain. So plenty to gain for these two sides. Now about to feed the ball in. And I Hamish, bro, I got late notifications, but time 2:36 a.m. It's coming just a few minutes here. Says the show. Well, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well, even though it is the middle of the night for yourself. Yeah, I hope you are excited. Christmas just around the corner. That is going to be now with a penalty. Oh, no penalty. Thought it was going to be the advantage against Edinburgh, but it is all right. Reckon they're cool, rhyme, fun time. Says Ryan. And also, Hamish is still king of commentary. Kiwi lads keeping it real. Says Reuven, that is now the advantage for Glasgow again. I think that might have almost been knocked on by Glasgow. Kicked in behind, spotting the space, and does put it into touch. So it is going back for the original knock-on advantage. Oh no, penalty advantage, in fact. I think they've got to take the 3 here. They tried to go for the corner last time, and it backfired. They can right those wrongs now if this kick ends up going over. They're kicking for the corner again. They feel like 3 points isn't enough. And the crowd are booing this decision, I believe. And like they've just said, the aggregate is something that they may be looking at. They've only scored 1 try throughout this game. Maybe they still feel they can get themselves the bonus point for 4 tries. You'll have to outwork Edinburgh, though. And every point will be crucial in this game. Johnny Matthews now lining up this kick. I don't think they want to give Edinburgh any confidence in their abilities on defence, which is why they want to go for this aggressive play. Ulster 20 and Connacht 12. And that is after 67 minutes. And now the advantage and the penalty again coming against Edinburgh. But they won't be minding that. As long as they don't get a player sent to the bin here, giving away penalties uses up an extra minute on the clock. It also allows their team to regroup. That time it's against Grant Gilchrist. Okay, Grant Gilchrist. He was early that time. He did not feel he was, though. Kick that ball in the touch. Again, 5 metres from the line. Maybe this is a tactic as well. Try and eventually have Edinburgh give away enough penalties to get someone sent off the field so they can really ramp it up in the last moments. That is claimed again by Rory Darsh. Now trying to roll towards the try line, although it's currently going sideways. Now it starts to drive. Where's the ball? It's being taken down. Another penalty advantage. But George Horn, the ball's available for Sione Tuipolotu to try and charge through. Now Horn, another advantage that's knocked on from Darge. Double blow of the whistle and the yellow card is now coming. That is going to be for Grant Gilchrist. And that is a massive blow now for Edinburgh. They tried to take it quickly. Oh, that was dumb from George Horn. Because Grant Gilchrist gave away the penalty. Then George Horn went, or tried to go quickly. Then he threw the player onto the ground. And Darcy Graham just asking the question, is that going to be reversed now? We're going to Hamish Pro Super Smash D20 tournament just started. Please do some stream because these matches not telecast, broadcast in India. I was watching the Super Smash yesterday. So we could look at maybe doing some sort of commentary for it. Gilchrist just penalised. Is there going to be now the chance, though, for Glasgow? Nicely claimed by Darge, playing the man in the air. Another penalty advantage against Edinburgh. They can't go a second without getting penalised at the moment. It looks like it's going to start rolling forward. It's well shut down from Edinburgh. Another penalty. One more, and we will see probably another man go to the bin. Penalty, no questions whatsoever that one would be a penalty. Glenn Young playing the man in the air. You've already lost one player for lineouts. You will lose another, is what the referee has said. And call back, or come back, Marnus, we need you. You're cool, says Ruth. And there as well. 15 minutes remaining. Clock is ticking down. So for Edinburgh, now that they are 1 down, what do you think? Or what do you think? We have more in this game. Are we maybe in store for a late winning try, says Marnus? I think now that there is a yellow card against Edinburgh that Glasgow will look to really put their foot down, because if they can score now and also maybe end up in the scenario of another player getting sent to the bin, that was better from Edinburgh. Well defended. Although this time, without infringing, it does look like Glasgow will have the momentum as they make their way towards the try line. They are through and they score the try. And they are in front in this contest. Now, I assume it was Johnny Matthews under the pile of men. Okay, bro. By now I'm sleeping, says the show. Enjoy your sleep, mate. Now, the try scored for Glasgow. It is Johnny Matthews who pops up successful. And you wonder whether or not Glasgow's mindset here of going for that corner, yes, it involved the discipline of Edinburgh, but did it also involve in the back of their mind wanting to get not just a huge points differential in this regard for this game, the 1872 Cup, of course, on the line. But if they get 4 tries, they get that bonus point. Perhaps they are looking to play catch-up to Leinster and trying to really put the Leinster side under pressure. But Glasgow, with their rolling ball of Johnny Matthews, they now take the lead for the first time since that Edinburgh 3 points. They are still playing with only 14 men on the field as well here at Edinburgh, so they are going to be possibly up against it for the next 8 minutes or so. That yellow card must have helped out, and it did. It certainly did. Getting rid of Grant Gilchrist, one of those players who normally is so evidential in lineouts. George Horn lining up the kick, and he's got it over. Now 15 points to 10 in favour of Glasgow, which is very much a happy sight for the crowd. And Hamish, bro, some Christmas party planned on your house, please tell us, says Michelle. So we are going out for a Christmas barbecue for lunch, and then I think some drinks here at dinner. So nothing huge in terms of having to travel too far or anything along those lines, but it should be good. And Ulster 20 and Connacht 19. It's a very close game at the moment between those two sides, but nicely claimed by Glasgow just on their 22-metre line. And Edinburgh to score again, win this, says Rube. Well, the thing is, there's 5 points difference, so there's still that possibility. Tui Pelotu inside of the 22 gets it across to Josh Mackay, who for me is probably close to man of the match for Glasgow if they do go on to win this contest. Now back into the pocket. Oh, I think someone got taken out there. Viliami Mata might have got a little bit of a cheap shot in, but Ben Healy now putting the up and under up. Chance on the halfway line, not taken cleanly, which now means that it sits up for Glasgow Warriors. And McDowell shut down pretty early from Pierre Skurman. George Horn going for the kick. It did not go the way that he wanted it to, but it actually almost still set up enough for them to be able to take. I've got there. Yeah, I thought you were sleeping, says Ryan, although he is still here at the moment. I'd assume he's sleeping relatively soon, though. Saracens, they are 6 points down in the Sale Sharks game as well, ladies and gents, for anyone wondering about that contest. 1 point difference between the other two sides. Last comment from myself before I sleep, says Michelle there, and Hamish is going to cook on Xmas, says Ruth. I mean, I might help out with the barbecue. I don't think I'll be cooking too much of significance, though. Not that I can think of anyway. Ali Price now making his way from the field. 11 minutes remaining. So that is a big moment to make the change. Fenta onto the field for Skurman. Emiliano Borfelli making his way onto the field now. The Argentine international for Wes Goosen, who has also been very solid in the way he's been able to run the ball. And Dave Cherry onto the field in his first line out. Has not gone well. Johnny Matthews manages to steal it for Glasgow. And they now have themselves all momentum. They decide to kick it though. And my voice apparently didn't like that. And it's gone into touch. And Vishal, congrats. India beats South Africa in the cricket. Says a roof there. But yeah, mistake early on from Dave Cherry. The line out not functioning. That is also because of Grant Gilchrist not being on the field, missing their main caller. Now another replacement is going to be made. So number 22, I think that is. Tom Jordan. Avocado's fallen off of the garage, or falling on the garage tin roof. Really can freak you out at 9 in South Africa. Why are we good at rugby? says Cool Story Bro. That seems like two very different things, doesn't it? Johnny Matthews throwing that ball in, nicely claimed again. And okay, bye, Amish, see you. Please hello to my uncle and auntie, please. Don't forget it. Says Michelle, so I'll tell them that you say hi after the live stream. Nice rolling ball. Now, 40 metres out. Oh, looping play. Tom Jordan just didn't quite link up the way that they wanted him to. So it does bring them back to the halfway line, and they will go back for the original penalty. Now, if they take the 3, this would give them an 8-point lead. Or do they kick for the corner and look to really up that tempo while Edinburgh are a man down? I think that they'll go for the latter. I think they'll decide instead to try their best. Yep, they're going for the corner. And also thanks, Ryan. We're all family rugby rockers. Says Ruth. Now, Jamie Ritchie knows that this is a time in the game that is make or break. If they concede a try now, I would say that this game is over. But if they can defend and stop the try from being scored, they still have a chance. I just feel like 2 tries to get back into the contest would be too much for Edinburgh with Glasgow's defence nicely claimed there at line-out time. And now they look to get this rolling ball going again with Johnny Matthews. And it's looking pretty strong. It's gone down by Glasgow, says the referee. Play away when you've gone down in the front. I think they got back up and went about twice more there, Glasgow, than they should have. But the referee allowed it. Going off to this left-hand side now. 10 minutes remaining in the contest and only 10 metres from the line now. Big run from Tui Palotu. Got the offload away to McDowell, or at least tried to, but he did get stuck in there. Now to the left. Again for Glasgow. This is where could go... Oh, they've knocked the ball on. I was going to say they could go right. But instead, it's going to be turned back over by Glasgow. There may have been a knock on the ground. But for now, it is play on. Now, back across to the right-hand side. Loose ball. Kicked forward from Edinburgh, but cleaned up by Glasgow. Now George Horn looking to run this one. Finds the offload away. Slipping over his own teammate, though, is the number 22, Ashart. And that almost ended up on the side of Edinburgh. But it is held on to by Glasgow. Rush defence from Edinburgh there. And it looks like there may have been an injury. Playing now with theoretically 13 men on the field. This is now when they really can put on that momentum. Around the side, looks like Ollie Keble is going to have a bit of a crack. They're saying another try here for Glasgow and make it extremely hard for Edinburgh. They go to the left-hand side. Vailanu looping round Josh Mackay. Pass on the outside. And it will be the try for Glasgow. That might just be the game, but it's Ali Miller who has been able to score it. And by Irish, I need to go to sleep. See you tomorrow for the Stormers versus Bulls game. It will certainly be a great game, says Amanis. And there's always there are only 2 likes at that like button, says Robert. And the chat, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. But that might just be the try that wins the game for the Glasgow Warriors here. 7 minutes remaining. The back line was functioning. Darcy Graham caught off his wing because he had to make the tackle in the midfield. But some nice quick hands from Josh Mackay. It's been a real problem all day for the Edinburgh defence. Also, bye-bye Marnus. Says a roof and bye Marnus. Says Ryan there as well. But now Glasgow, they are 1 try away from a bonus point here. So you wonder whether or not they will now look to attack that even more. Because they lead currently by 12 points with this conversion going over from George Horn. 12-point lead, you can afford, well, can you? That's the thing. Can you afford to make a little risk here? I don't know if you can. I think that they'll try and be structured, but if the chance does arise, like they've just said, 14 points being scored since that Grant Gilchrist yellow card, so that has hurt them drastically. There you go Edinburgh, there you go Glasgow again, says Roof. Now Ollie Kebble, he is taken off the field, and that is going to be for Fenta. Might be some sort of injury involved there. Now it's kicked downfield. And Ray onto the field for WP now. I wonder, does Fuff like fishing? Says Ryan, that is a very good question. I'm not actually too sure if Fuff de Klerk is a fan of fishing. Now off to the right-hand side. Jamie Ritchie tackled. Edinburgh, if they can score now, it won't only give them the bonus point, but it will also give them the chance of coming back into this contest and winning it. But they would need a try now. Now off to the left, big run forward and some big contact. Looking through at this back line, who's going to be the player that really steps up? I feel like Dawn van der Merwe, we haven't seen him anywhere near enough, and I think he might, yep, there he is. Going to get the ball now. Big tackle made on him by Josh Mackay, who is willing to muscle up, but the penalty goes the way of Edinburgh. Fafa is the most awesome hero I've ever seen, says Ruth. So Dawn van der Merwe having a bit of a chat there to George Horn, the man who gave away the penalty. We see there Henko Fenta as well is now on the field. Fafa looks like He-Man, says cool story, bro. Some deep breaths though being taken by both of these sides, knowing that it's been quite the battle out there on the field already, and there is still time remaining, 3.5 minutes. If Edinburgh score now, they actually, like I said, can still win this game, and that would also give them a bonus point for the losing bonus point side of things. They have to make a lot of meters first. Dave Cherry, he's been shut down beautifully there by the Glasgow defence, and they managed to keep the ball in, and it is now going to be the scrum. Great work from Scott Cummings to get that turnover at what was probably the most crucial time of the whole game. Brilliant Mull defence though, going straight through the middle. He looks like Ken in the Barbie movie. And Ulster 20, Connacht 19 is finished. Yeah, very close game between those two sides. Saracens and Sale Sharks are still very close. And then I do see Bristol have now extended their lead up against Newcastle. Can you show us the setup one day, says Ryan? Could do. I'll be honest, it's the same setup that we've had pretty much the whole time. But, yeah, at some stage, I mean, we've got the vlog on the channel. I wonder whether or not it shows it in there. Maybe. That was from a little while ago, though. Here we go, Josh Mackay, man of the match. He has been absolutely brilliant today. 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock, and we have got another scrum reset here for Glasgow, which means that they will use up a little bit more time on the clock. And as more time is used, it means there is less chance of them losing, but also less chance of them getting that bonus point for 4 or more tries. But I'd say that they will more than happily accept where they are sitting in this game currently. All about to be fed in. 2.5 minutes remaining. Scrums all day have been a bit of a struggle. That one's nicely claimed. Massive counter ruck or counter scrum there from Edinburgh, but the ball is still on the side of Glasgow. Now it's kicked downfield. It's the tactic that Glasgow will look to use throughout this last 2 minutes. Nice stepping from Darcy Graham now. Seems like him and Dawn van der Merwe have actually ended up on the same site. Here's the picture of the 3 horses on the wall. That is true. I just looked up and there are horses on my wall indeed. Now, penalty goes the way of Edinburgh. They've got 100 seconds now. They need to kick this one into touch as soon as physically possible. Healy will be doing so, but doesn't want to rush this. Wants to make sure the ball does go out, which it does. 22 metres out from the line, Edinburgh. This stage, when looking at the clock, maybe they've realised there's no chance of winning here. So instead, we just need to make sure we do get it right and get that losing bonus point. Close the gap in the 1872 Cup. Also be a little bit on their mind. Okay, time is off. It is going to be Scott Cummings now to make his way off the field, and that is after having a brilliant turnover just a little bit ago for Williamson, who makes his way on. It's a big change to make with only a minute remaining. Perhaps deciding that they have to try and get everyone out there on the field. I feel like as Williamson, you'd have a lot of pressure on you. That's nicely thrown in. Now the rolling ball at Edinburgh, trying to work its way towards the try line. Looks like it's going to be stopped again here by Glasgow, who have almost managed to clean turnover. I don't actually know where the ball is at the moment. It looks like Glasgow have got this one back. Now with 40 seconds remaining, they're going for one last attack. They know they can't lose this game. So they might as well throw everything at it and try and get themselves another bonus point like they have throughout the rest of the season. Your online family knows you. So here's Robert. It's going to be kicked downfield, looking to play the territory game, and it might just about be a 50-22. Yes, it is. Brilliant kick from Glasgow. And what time's the game tomorrow morning? I believe it starts at 6 a.m. roughly New Zealand time. I'll just have a quick look. It is 6:15 a.m. New Zealand time. And the back to school poster are scaring me. Says Orion there. And also over there, Shot Brass says cool story, bro. So yeah, it's gone from Glasgow possibly not having a chance of getting that bonus point to now sitting in the scenario of they pretty much should at this point, because they are only about 15 metres, if not 10 metres out from the opposition try line in school. They're only just gone on holiday. See through. Nicely claimed there. Now the rolling ball for Glasgow. It's been taken down by Glasgow. The referee says, now Tui Palotu, 10 metres out from the line. Can they get that extra point? Oh, he had to leave it because he was picking the ball up as he was joined back into the breakdown. Hinko Fenta runs a little bit too high, but managed to find the offload away to Johnny Matthews. Made a lot of metres throughout this contest already, including scoring the try earlier on. They're only 5 metres out from the line now, and they have got the penalty advantage, and the penalty does go their way. Already playing advantage for offside. Grant Gilchrist is frustrated. Just realised that he's got a yellow card, so he can't really yell at the referee too much, or else he might find himself with another one. They're going to kick this one for the corner here with Tom Jordan. Has gone out, it's weird, but I'm glad I'm finished with school. Hey teacher, leave us kids alone, says Ruth. But now, like they've said, if Edinburgh can't steal this one in the air, I think that they'll find themselves in a very hard scenario of defending. Both rolling more defences other than those penalties has looked decent, although saying that Edinburgh, I think the only time that they haven't ended up, oh, it's stolen. They've got it back. Grant Gilchrist, big run forward. I think that they'll kick this one into touch. Yes, they will. Oh, hang on. They want to continue playing. This doesn't seem smart to me. You're 1 metre or so out from your own try line. I would have thought that kicking the ball out would have been the much better decision, because if they concede a penalty here, or if Glasgow end up getting the ball back, they are more than likely going to concede a try. Looks like they're trying to run this ball out. There's just no chance of going anywhere. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they want to try. Now they kick it into touch. Yeah, there was nothing on for them. But this game will end 22 points to 10. Glasgow take the lead in the 1872 Cup. Looks like Johnny Matthews very frustrated. Felt like there could have been one more try up the sleeve of this Glasgow side. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall, says Ruth. And also Pink Floyd Ruth Lowell, says Naz Williams. And there as well. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, 22 points to 10. Like I mentioned, the next game that we have got is tomorrow morning. Like I said, 6:10 or so a.m. New Zealand time is when that one will be starting. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That game actually went for 2 hours. One of the longer games that we have seen of the URC. The weak conditions, though, made it unfavourable for both sides when it came to that running game. So instead, incorporating a bit more kicking by Hamish. And cheers, Hamish. See you all tomorrow mornings. Lord willing, says Nazi Williams. So we will see you a little bit later on. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And we'll see you all for the next one.